Welcome back to year 5 of the greatest cities in sports, Wisconsin. It is 2029 and our last shot to compete, and we're coming off a year of kind of disappointment. And so I'd watch that first if you're watching this episodically before you go into this final episode and our finale. But we're coming off a year of disappointment. We set extremely high expectations after the 2027 season, and 2028 failed to meet those expectations. That means in 2029, we're going to have to try to overcome some of the faults that we made in 2028. I still expect that we can do great. We have a fantastic team with the Brewers. The Bucks are still there. The Spurs exist. And then we also have the Packers, who are 3-time Super Bowl champions at this point. Getting a fourth is probably unlikely, but we still technically have Jordan Love at quarterback and therefore could still contend for one more year in this simulation. The Badgers still have an elite defense and now a 99 overall tight end, yet don't have a quarterback, so I don't know if they'll be able to compete yet and might have missed their shot that was available for them in 2028. When we look at the Brewers, who we're going to start with first, we have to look at the adjustments we made last season. Now, I showed us getting Cutter Crawford, a free agent pitcher that was available, in order to try to fix some of this rotation after Woodruff's retiring. We traded Mizorowski because he wasn't necessarily performing very well. And I don't really have faith in Robert Gasser. He has not played well, so he is gone too. So I signed Cutter Crawford, but I didn't show that I also signed Ryan Pepio, who was basically, I think it was the last month of the offseason, he still wasn't signed, so I just offered him a minimum deal and he took it. So now we have Ryan Pepio as well. So we'll have Peralta, Myers, Bieber, Cutter Crawford, and Pepio with Ashby, Tinoco, Hudson, John Means, Abner Uribe, Oscar Acevedo, and Nick Mears in our bullpen, which means I think we're going to be in a good position for pitching this year to potentially get either another Cy Young or just contend in general. When it comes to the lineup, we've replaced Rhys Hoskins with Jonathan Aranda at first base. Otherwise, haven't done a whole lot of changes. We're kind of investing a lot into Willie Valbuena, who won Rookie of the Year last year, and is one of the only prospects that we drafted that is going to be able to play at the major league level. There are other ones. I think Dan Landis technically could, but when you're trying to compete for a World Series, you can't really afford to play low 70 overalls prospects that haven't made their, sorry, Luis Pena, I feel like I'm just showing you off right now at this point because I'm just talking about you. But anyways, we really don't have the ability or can't afford that to play some of those other prospects. So the only one we're going to see is Willie Valbuena. But this is basically the same team. Yelich is, I honestly wouldn't have played him this year, but he's in the last year of his deal, and last year he played pretty well. He had over an 800 OPS. He ended up with almost 2 WAR. I don't know if he'll do it again. If he doesn't, I have guys to replace him. David Fry, Garrett Mitchell, not Joey Ortiz, but like we could still think about how we could replace him. Maybe Valbuena just plays at DH. But anyways, this is going to be the team this year. We are in 2029. It's the last year, so we are doing no scouting. We are doing no recruiting in college football. We are doing no, drafting in Madden and all that in NFL. So the only thing that you'll see a draft in is in the NBA, but I don't even know if we have picks left. So we'll see what we can do. Let's go for another year and see if we can contend for another World Series and make it back after last year's disappointment. After 2 months of play, we've taken a pretty lax NL Central by storm, taking an easy lead, and a lot of this is coming down to a significantly greater offense than we're seeing from our competition in the NL Central. Our pitching staff actually hasn't been as phenomenal as usual, but we still have a big lead over the Reds. I expect to win the NL Central. The question is whether or not we can get the bye, and right now it looks like with the West being held by the Diamondbacks and the East being held by the Braves, pretty good shot at doing so. The big leap is Jesus Mate is up to an 83 overall and hitting over 300 so far this season, something that is a significant improvement over his really bad 2028. And Yelich still got it. That helps too. 13 home runs so far by 2 months into the season. If he keeps this up, we can keep him at DH. And right before we get to the NBA offseason, we are 53-25, still holding on to a really good offense this season and 10 games above the Cincinnati Reds. Turang still isn't hitting 300, but it's a little bit closer this year than he was last year, and I think across the board we're seeing pretty good production when Valbuena is one of our worst hitters, hitting 231 right now, but I still think he'll be able to put it together in the latter half of the season. I think we're in a good spot. Aranda's hitting over 300. Pavin Smith's at 248, but he's an on-base machine. And Churio's hitting 265. So we might be in a spot where we could see him go back for... we talked about potentially getting himself into the MVP race, and maybe he'll be able to do that. I don't know. We'll see. I would love to have him in the MVP race at the end of the season. I don't think he'll be able to without getting a lot more power. So probably not. But hey, we're a good team. We should be able to compete for the World Series again. Never mind. I don't even remember how I got this pick. We have pick 3 again. So we also have pick 14. Okay, I didn't remember getting this draft pick. I'll probably trade it. Whoa! Brunson's on the Pacers? That just feels wrong. This is the trade we're going to be making with the Atlanta Hawks. We're going to get Jalen Johnson out of this one. Turning another 3rd pick into something crazy, because why not? And so we're still absolutely stacked. Does it matter? I'm not certain, because I think this depth doesn't necessarily do anything if we still can't beat the San Antonio Spurs. Brought in Jalen Johnson via trade. I traded for Tyler Kolek, got rid of the Laravia contract, and Lonzo Ball. Got Salone back. Looks like we got some progression from Patterson, and Caffey only got up to 76. Other deal, I was able to get Lou Dort in free agency, and then signed Yakajunas to his extension, 5-year, $262 million. So, see if we can beat the Spurs again. So we find ourselves at the All-Star break, 64-33, now 9 games up on the Cubs. I guess the NL Central might actually be kind of competitive this year. We got 2 teams sitting in there in the wild card race. I mean, we might actually have a good NL Central. I mean, we're still going to be dominant, essentially, compared to the rest of them. But Cubs are on a run, and we're a little bit on a slide. It's kind of hard to say. We have lost 5 of our last 5, which is something. But essentially, we are in a good spot to continue to contend. We have the all-star starting pitcher, Shane Bieber, going for another Cy Young here, I think, in 2029. We got one from Myers. I kind of wanted to point out, but I feel like I pointed out Peralta last year, then he fell apart, and I think if I pointed out Bieber too early, I didn't want him to fall apart, so we were kind of doing a nothing conversation. I don't think he'll get it, because, Skeens has more Ks, and Hunter Green is really good too, so we'll see how it ends up being, but we could be in the race for another Cy Young. We don't have any bullpen arms as all-stars, but William Contreras is an all-star starter at catcher. He's got 13 home runs and hitting .326 on the season, back to where he normally is at. Jonathan Aranda is an all-star starter at first base. That seems like a good trade. Bryce Terang is an all-star starter at second base, hitting .287 with 27 stolen bases so far. He also has 11 home runs. So that's new for Bryce Terang. No starting third baseman, no shortstop, no left field, no center, no right. Oh, actually, no. Sal Frelick is an all-star as well. Not a starter, but he did make the team, and we don't have a DH, so no Yelich, sadly. But we do have a couple all-stars. We are leading the NL Central by a handy amount, and maybe we'll be able to get ourselves another Cy Young with Shane Bieber. Probably no MVP, but Cy Young. Now, I'm not trying to say that our prospects were, bad draft picks, because I actually think Roger Lincoln, somebody who we took in the first round of 2026, could be starting right now for us if we weren't trying to contend at this exact moment. So he would technically probably come up next year to replace John Means, but still, when you look at it, I think we do have a bunch of prospects that are good in this farm system for the future after the 5 years is over with us in Wisconsin. And so here we are entering the month of September, 91-44. We're on an 8-game win streak, and we've put it all together. I think the pitching staff is even better than we were at earlier in the season. You can see we have a good lead on everybody else in the division, and the big things, I think, are James Wood's going to win this MVP, so wouldn't even have to consider it. Also, Gunners on the Dodgers, because boo. But Shane Bieber is in the Cy Young race. He has a 2.13 ERA at this point, 16-4, and you know how much those wins matter, and 136 strikeouts. So as long as Spencer Strider doesn't win every single game because he has so many more strikeouts, I think we have a shot for this, and Pablo Lopez is right on our tail too, technically. But we could get another big award here with Shane Bieber potentially getting a Cy Young this season. Well, if we're going to make it this year, we're going to have to go through a gauntlet. Georgia, Oregon, Michigan, Washington, Indiana, then Ohio State. I mean, really, it's all about this. Can we win these early games in the season? Because after that, we've got an easy schedule. We should be able to cakewalk through that last part. But, you know, it's been a whole thing. We have not had a quarterback this entire time we've been doing this, except for the 1 year we had a really good season of Braden Locke. Since then, haven't been able to replace him. And so maybe Case and Love will be able to do the job this year, and we'll actually be able to get over something and throw the ball. I also might just see if hopefully we can run the ball. I mean, that's what Wisconsin should do. Either way, this is going to be a team that we are the better roster than every other team we run into. But can we actually beat them? Because is our talent in the right places? Case and Love is playing up to an 89, so he does actually, I think, have a good opportunity. He's a scrambling quarterback. He's somebody who's going to have to run, and we have running backs. Braden Keel and DeMarco Cordova, 2 juniors, and then even our 99 overall tight end, Ralph Orlando, is a blocking tight end. So we technically still have a good shot here with a guy like this to be able to run the ball a lot. And that's going to be big because the receiving core is actually pretty weak outside of that. So I don't know. Let's see if we can win these. Defense is phenomenal again. Well, losing early on in that schedule against Georgia, not a good start to a season if we're trying to really compete here. And I'm not excited about the fact that we are still not able to get a whole lot of passing offense from this team. And I think the worst part about it is, okay, let's say we don't pass the ball. Why don't we run? Why don't we run the ball? I've switched the scheme to whatever the number 1 running back team is every year. We still don't run. And, I mean, can we put the nail in the coffin this early? Now we lose to Oregon, too. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this offense. It's sad that I haven't been able to develop one. I mean, we've built a fantastic defense, but we just cannot build an offense. Nails in the coffin. Wow. I mean, maybe we shouldn't have had that level of a schedule at the beginning off the year, but, like, yeah, I don't know how we get out of this. But before the month of October begins, we did sneak our way back up into the rankings. It's just down to this game against Ohio State. Once again, there's no way that we go if we have 4 losses, so it's a guarantee we have to win that game to have a shot. I know it's Ohio State, so you never know if we'll be able to. So we're up to 21st in the nation. I did notice Oregon has dropped down because NC State has won. Michigan is down here, and Georgia, who we lost to, is 2-2. Maybe this is just a stacked year, I guess. And thinking about it, I really can't even put the blame on Case and Love. I mean, 12 touchdowns, 2 picks, 71 completion percentage. He hasn't even been that bad. The rushing game hasn't been great, but Cordova's got 378 yards. I mean, Keel got hurt, so Cordova kind of had to take over. I don't mind Cordova taking over for the season and just seeing what he can do. We've got decent receiving from Orlando and Simonson. And defensively, I mean, we got 5.5 sacks a couple games into the season with Cade Walters. So, this is still a good team. It's just, I doubt we'll be able to do much if I can't beat Ohio State and if we can't go anywhere. And I don't know. The offense has underperformed for years. Does that change at the end of the season? Does it change when we make the college football playoffs? We are starting the NFL season once again in a position trying to go for another Super Bowl. 4 in a row, and we have a really good team to help supplement that. Now, we are still going to be based upon Jordan Love, but we have a little bit of a different roster around him now because we're starting to get a little bit close to our budget. In fact, we were unable to keep some guys this year, and you can see that with our new running back, Caleb Johnson from Iowa. Now, importantly, he is on a 1-year deal. We have 1 year left with Caleb Johnson, so this is a very, very win-now decision, and that's also because Jordan Love is also on a 1-year deal who would need to be able to sign next year. So this is essentially the last year for contention for the Packers until Jordan Love gets a $600 million quarterback deal and they can't afford to put the rest of the roster around him at all. But With that, we are going to be going into this year with another really good secondary, some really good players in Edge Cooper. We still have Rashawn Gary on the roster, and the dynamic passing attack of Jordan Love to Matthew Golden. 5 weeks into the season, ending our first month of play, we are 4-1. After the loss to the Eagles, we are one of the top offenses in the league, being led by Jordan Love, who's got 13 touchdowns already on the year in those 5 games. Matthew Golden has played well, and so the question is kind of whether or not the defense can ramp things up in the latter half of this season. I mean, not latter half, it's still the very beginning. But as the season goes, if they can develop and get a little bit better. Apparently the Giants are good, and I believe Seattle now has Baker Mayfield. That's probably why they're a little bit better. And Detroit is good as always. So we'll see how it goes for the rest of this year, but I'm still confident this is going to be a playoff team. The only question is, Detroit's good, so we might not win this division. 113-49, we win our division once again as a dominant team in the National League. We will be taking on the winner of the wild card, being probably, if not most definitely, the number 1 seed in the NL again. We're coming away with 2 awards on the season. Cy Young, Shane Bieber, that's the big one. We also got a couple gold gloves, Terang, Churio, and Sal Frelick. Great defense from those 3. Your MVP in the NL this year is James Wood, who hit .359 for 47 home runs and 138 RBIs. He might have racked up a triple crown with that batting average. Okay. I think Pablo Lopez had a bad second half because Shane Bieber, Freddie Peralta, Cutter Crawford, a Cy Young race. Who needs anything else but a great pitching staff? Batting title, James Wood beats Luis Arias in that one, so he probably did get a triple crown, but that's funny to me. On the AL side, Aaron Judge comes away with the MVP here in 2029. A .298 with 46 home runs and 115 RBIs. And your Cy Young is Grayson Rodriguez of the Baltimore Orioles. For league leaders, we had Shane Bieber leading in ERA with a .211 ERA on the season. What a great year from him. We also had Terang lead in stolen bases with 43. So that's 2 league leaders, a little bit less than we've had in the last couple years, but I think we have an all-around performance. Batting average by a long shot. James Wood, .359. I mean, if James Wood didn't exist, this would have been a close race for Contreras, and it looks like Aranda and Jesus Mate. But yeah, long shot, James Wood wins that one. Luis Arias with the most hits, 194 on the season for the Diamondbacks. I just got to check these. 1 short on doubles for Terang, and triples. We weren't up there. Home runs, James Wood, 47, and led in RBIs, so he does get a triple crown in the NL this year in 2029. The saves leader is Ryan Walker with 53 saves on the season for the San Francisco Giants. Your ERA crown is Shane Bieber with a .211 ERA on the season. And your strikeout leader is Spencer Strider with 223 Ks. On the AL side, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. wins the batting title, hitting .333, just beating out Jacob Wilson. He ended up not having the most hits, though. Ha-Seong Kim of the Mariners had 197 hits on the season. When it comes to home runs, your leader is Aaron Judge with 46. Saves leader on the year was Edwin Uceda with 56 saves for the Tampa Bay Rays on the season. Maybe we'll see them again in the playoffs and get a rematch and not have Miami beat us this time. ERA crown goes to Hunter Brown at 3.251. For the Detroit Tigers, barely beating out Crochet and Grayson Rodriguez. Your strikeout leader, also Hunter Brown, with 212. That's a good amount. I mean, that's Cy Young caliber for Hunter Brown. The game sent down Jesus Tinoco, who had a .395 ERA this season out of the bullpen. Ended up not being that great of a pickup for us. Not that great of WAR, so didn't really have a fantastic year. He's the only one who got sent down. Ashby, phenomenal year, .264, 115 ERA or WHIP out of the bullpen. Brian Hudson, .253. Tobias Myers didn't have a good year. He lost the starting spot partially through the year because he was just bad. .483, 135 WHIP. Silas Tupman, .208 after he came up in September. Abner Uribe, .297 with a 127 WHIP was a great year. Oscar Acevedo, .219 was very good. And Nick Mears, 305 with a 108 whip for our closer, with another 48 saves on the year for him. When it comes to our starting rotation, we had a lot of Cy Young caliber pitching. Freddie Peralta, 283 with a 104 whip. Fantastic year from him. Means had a 311 ERA with a 124. You saw Shane Bieber, Cy Young with a 211 and 157 strikeouts. Cutter Crawford, 372 with a 118. Kind of surprised he was third. I guess the 18 wins does a lot of lifting there. And then Ryan Pepio, 383 with a 125 whip for him on the season. Lineup-wise, top prospect Luis Pena never really got a shot this season, and when he did get opportunities, he didn't do much with them. 83 average, but he did walk twice, I guess, technically, in those at-bats. I don't think we had anybody else get called up. Maybe Steven Madison, I think, had up. Yeah, whatever. Nothing really special there. I considered Jaden Fielder, but he got hurt. I really wanted to give him a chance. So we didn't get to see him. 191 from Joseph Ortiz on the season. David Fry with a 349 average on the year with a 433 on base percentage. What a season. 1,000 OPS from him. 3.8 WAR. Man, he could have been in the race if we got him enough at bats for a batting title. 287 for Garrett Mitchell. Cuero, 204. Whatever. Brock Wilken didn't play. Bryce Durang, still getting worse. He's honestly regressed each season, and this has been his biggest regression yet. From 309, now he's down to a 268, 157 hits on the year. Still over 800 OPS, and he did get a gold glove, but yeah, regression across the board for him. 287 and 27 home runs from Sal Frelick, who with 58 power, that's amazing for him. William Contreras, 308 with 22 homers. Willie Valbuena, 261 with 18 homers. Jonathan Aranda, 299 with 22 homers. 270 and 22 for Pavin Smith. Churio hit 270 with 17 home runs. How much WAR did he end up racking up this year? 3.8. So, didn't really get back to that point. And Jesus Mate, 298 with 19 home runs. I do see Yelich got sent down, but he must have really got sent down all the way down to Double-A. He ended up with 28 homers, 27 doubles, and had a 785 OPS this year, and still had a positive 1.5 WAR. We're bringing him back up for the playoffs. You're not going into the playoffs without Yelich. This has got to be his last shot. It's his contract year. This is Yelich retiring, probably at the end of the season. Let's get him a shot to win a World Series. Here in the NLDS, we are taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks, who have a rotation with Dylan Cease, Mackenzie Gore, and Corbin Burns. Great rotation, however, ours is better. That doesn't necessarily matter if we cannot find a way to beat them. So first, on Saturday afternoon, can we take down the Diamondbacks in Milwaukee? Peralta versus Cease. We go down 0-1. And a little bit later here on Saturday, October 6th, will we be able to take down Ohio State and save our season? Or is it going to be over right here against the Buckeyes? This is the fate of the Badgers hopeful. Can we end up advancing and still continuing to potentially contend for a national championship game? All of that is dependent on this result, and that's a lot of XP. We do. We're 4-3. We have taken down Ohio State. It seems we just needed to get some momentum in on this season before we got our victories, because now we win 31-13, handily taking down the Buckeyes, who were unable to stop, I guess, more of our rushing game. You know what? Maybe I talked them down a little bit too much. Cordova's hurting on too, by the way. So, okay. Never mind all my hope. I hate having hope. And so, Sunday, October 7th of 2029, can we take down the Bears and advance to 5-1 before our bye week in our attempt to win 4 straight Super Bowls? And can Jordan Love go for an MVP this season? We win 41-28, taking down the Bears and continuing to have a fantastic offensive season. We can see Matthew Golden is having a great year right now. Still need to see a little bit more out of Jordan Love. And by little bit more, I only mean like 30 yards, because he is right on the tail of the other league leaders in passing. Now, we have our bye week, so he's going to fall a little bit behind, and this number is never going to be accurate compared to the rest of the league for the rest of the season. But if he can get up to 5,000 yards, 45 plus touchdowns, we could be talking MVP. He doesn't rush, though, so he has to throw 45 to 50 touchdowns on the season to get it. And then we're talking about maybe a Matthew Golden Offensive Player of the Year in that case. And 2 big trophies on top of the trophy case of Super Bowl rings would be huge for this Green Bay Packers offense. And so here we are, Sunday night on October 7th, 2029. We need to win 3 of the next 4 games against the Diamondbacks in order to be able to advance to the NLCS to likely take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Let's see what we can do in this series. John Means versus Mackenzie Gore in Game 2. We win that one in Milwaukee, meaning we have to take a game off of them in Arizona. Shane Bieber versus Corbin Burns in Game 3. We win that one up now, 2-1. Carter Crawford versus Dylan Cease in Game 4. We advance and will be taking on the Dodgers in the NLCS next week. Staying undefeated for the rest of the season is going to be the important part about Wisconsin's season and to keep their chances alive of making it to the college football playoffs again. We are ranked 17th in the nation and 3-2 in our conference, but we still are going to have a tough wait there. The other thing too is without our top 2 running backs, it's going to really limit our offense. Can we take down Maryland here this next weekend while the Packers are on bye? Big question, I guess. We get through there and win probably with all that XP. That's likely a victory. We do. We are 5-3 taking on Iowa next week. The Los Angeles Dodgers are standing in our way between another World Series appearance here. This is the same team that has always stood in our way. And so getting past them means our second ever World Series appearance. We are going to be going with Ryan Pepio to start this one, as I kind of want to make sure I'm using all 5 pitchers, something that we weren't able to do last year and Miami beat us, not necessarily for it, but we're going to use suspicion of baseball habits to make sure that we know that. So, Game 1, Pepio versus Sasaki. We lose that one 7-9. Nick Mears seems to have blown it in that one. Okay, so Game 2, got to win this one here in Milwaukee. Peralta versus Yamamoto. All right, we are down 0-2. The only way I feel like we turn this around is if we win all 3 in LA. Means versus Ohtani. 5-1 victory. Bieber versus Snell. 6-2 victory. Cutter Crawford versus Roki Sasaki. 7-2 victory. We just have to win a game back in Milwaukee when we go home. But first, let's get through the college football game and the NFL game this weekend. And so we have Iowa, probably our last difficult matchup of the season. I think like we have Northern Illinois left and we have Minnesota left. So really this is our last tough game. Can we take down Iowa, a team who we've beaten by like 40 every time we played them so far in every sim? Please don't let them have the year they have, I guess, they've needed now in 2029 when we can't afford it. That's a good amount of XP. Okay, we have won. And now Illinois is good too. Okay, all right. Well, I guess we have another tough game. Low-scoring game, a lot of defense, what we kind of wanted to see, and especially now that we don't have much of a running game for our team without having running backs. I mean, Nate Wyman had 106 yards this game, and he's like a third-string running back for us because we just don't have any. Yeah, getting these victories are important, and I guess we took the lead early. Okay, Illinois is up next. I totally didn't make a mistake and ruin this entire premise of why we do these things chronologically by having the Thursday night football game happen after the college football game because I didn't check when we played the game against the Cowboys, but I'm still in a position where I know that we're going to win, so it doesn't really matter. I hope that you're really not stressed out about the fact that I've made such a drastic mistake and forgot that we played Thursday night. Hey, we won 31-17. And so we've won every single game on the road of this playoff series. We just need to win one game at home in Milwaukee. Ryan Pepio was going to be on the mound for Yoshinobu Yamamoto in Game 6 of the NLCS against the Dodgers. Can we take it? We cannot, meaning we're going to get a Game 7 between Freddie Peralta and Shohei Ohtani. Can we get the victory? Woo, close one. We are taking on the Rays or the Twins. Since our premise is already ruined, let's just run through it. We're just going to do the entire World Series in a row, and then we will see how the other teams' stressful games rack up afterwards. We have a rematch of the 2027 World Series between the Tampa Bay Rays and us, the Milwaukee Brewers. And we're going to see what we can do in this series. I think we are the better team, but they do have Logan Webb and Bailey Ober and Taj Bradley, and still a phenomenal pitching staff for Tampa Bay. And so we have taken off their first baseman, Jonathan Aranda, but we did give them a pretty good third baseman in replacement in Matt Shaw. So game 1 in Milwaukee. John Means is going to start game 1 against Logan Webb. Can we take it? We win 2-1, taking the first game. Game 2, Bieber versus Ober. Tampa Bay, can they take a game off of us in Milwaukee? They cannot. We are up 2-0. Cutter Crawford versus Taj Bradley in Game 3 in Tampa. We do lose, so we're not getting a sweep on them this year. Pepio versus Dylan Lesko in Game 4. That is a victory. We are up 3-1. Freddie Peralta versus Logan Webb in Game 5. We do not get that one, meaning this is going to be Game 6. Let's go in. We are going to look for a quick manage after we lost that one 6-8. Here in Game 6 in Milwaukee in American Family Field, I'd prefer to call it Miller Park myself, we will be taking on Tampa Bay in the City Connects and hoping that we can win this one here in Milwaukee. We're going to go with John Means on the mound. I can always switch. I do believe Cutter Crawford is good too, but I want to save Bieber for Game 7 if I need him. And so we are looking at our lineup. Bryce Terang, 246, 250, 281. Looks like our best hitter has been Jonathan Aranda. And Pavin Smith. Yelich is only hitting 231 and 146 from Jesus Mate. Do we go Jaden Fielder? No, just kidding. We're going to go right with it. They have Chandler Simpson, Jose Caballero, Junior Caminero, Kerry Carpenter, Ozzie Albies, Connor Wong, Richie Palacios, Matt Shaw, and Trey Morgan in their lineup. What an interesting looking team to be in the World Series. Okay, Chandler Simpson's going to lead them off with a flyout. Ground out, and a ground out as we get out of the first. Fly out, strike out, and a single for Contreras, but a fly out from Valbuena gets nothing. Single from Albies, but into a double play after Connor Wong. Ground out, pop out, and a walk for Churio gets him on to first. I think I'm going to leave him on first, not going to go for a stolen base. And we get a ground out from Yelich. Means walks Palacios, a fielder's choice to get Matt Shaw on first. Line out, another walk to get a man on first and second. Glad there's a guy in second, so Simpson can't steal second. But we do get a ground out to get out of that one. Jesus Mate against Bailey Ober. Fly out, ground out, and a triple from Sal Frelick. Can you hit him in? Contreras with a single to take the lead here in Game 6. 1-0 lead. Okay, Means gets a ground out. Ground out and gets out of that one with Albies. Aranda with a ground out. Strikeout for Pavin Smith, and Churio grounds out. Single for Wong. Double play for Palacios. Single from Shaw. And a flyout gets him out of the fifth. Flyout, ground out, and this is a low-scoring pitcher's duel, as you would expect between Tampa Bay and Milwaukee. When is it ever not? We have Sal Frelick on first. I feel confident. He can steal second. Contreras with a double gets him in. 2 runs and 2 RBIs for Contreras and Frelick, respectively. Walk for Jonathan Aranda. Walk, bases loaded for Jackson Churio. I think we can go for the sac fly here. They're going to switch to Hunter Harvey. We get the sac fly to get another run in. Up 3-0 for Yelich. Single gets another run in. We are up 4-0. Another run after a Jesus Mate single. And we get out of that one. We are up 5-0 going to the top of the 7th. I could switch from Means, but he's pitched really well right now. Fly out, single, pop out, single. Now we'll switch from Means and go to... Uribe's blown a lot of games so far in this postseason, so I'm going to go to Tupman. And he gets out of that one. Bottom of the 7th. They're going to go to Nick Sandlin. Sal Frelick strikes out. Contreras walks to get on base. Valbuena flies out. Aranda gets a single to put men on the corners for Pavin Smith. And a walk from Pavin. Churio pops up. Tupman will continue, I think, here. And I could switch to a lefty, actually. We will go to Acevedo. Ground out. Fly out. And he flies out. Down to the bottom of the 8th. Yelich against Mason Montgomery. Walks. Let's just steal second, old man. He stole second. Jesus Mate strikes out. Terang strikes out. Frelick walks. Men on first and second for Contreras. Make a pitching change to Manuel Ortega, and he grounds out for his first out of the day. Make the pitching change to the closer, Nick Mears.
to end this one against Caminero. That was not a shutout. Solo home run. Strikeout, ground out. And now let's watch as Nick Mears tries to finish off Connor Wong to make sure Tampa Bay doesn't win a World Series, and we win our second in 3 years here in the 2029 World Series. Nick Mears against Connor Wong. I mean, what a year it ends up being, I guess, for us in this pitching staff. We had a phenomenal rotation the whole way around, and we get to go to a World Series in a pitcher's duel against Tampa Bay and only give up 1 run, which was given up by our closer when he came in the top of the ninth, and just had a phenomenal season overall. 0-1 count for Connor Wong with a pitch. Slow 12-6 curveball, but still gets the strike. 0-2 count now for Connor Wong here in Game 6 of the World Series. His last pitch, he doesn't swing. It's a called strike. The Brewers win their second World Series in 3 years. They are 2-time World Series champions behind Cy Young pitching talent, a young, great defensive and fast core, and what a young team. I guess it's still great. Yelich gets his second World Series in his career in what will likely be his final season of his career. Milwaukee is back on top with the Brewers in 2029. Once again, we can see if, Giannis will be able to do the same thing for the city of Milwaukee. But we have a title here in Wisconsin in 2029, and the question will still be on everybody else if they can match it. But what a great season, and, great additions. We had to replace some pitching. We fell apart last year against Miami, and we ended up putting it all back together in a tough matchup against the Dodgers, and then an even tougher matchup against Tampa Bay, who once again challenged us, but we end up winning again. Holding the trophy for the second time are your Milwaukee Brewers, the Brew Crew. World Series MVP is third baseman Willie Valbuena. We talked about, hey, maybe he'll be a MVP candidate at year 5 because he looked so good out of the year 1 draft. I think I'll take a World Series MVP over a regular MVP any day. World Series MVP for Valbuena and playoff MVP for Jonathan Aranda. And Pavin Smith and Contreras also fought for those. And on the AL side, Connor Wong gets the postseason MVP. Albies was also up there, and Junior Caminero. Look at Aranda was there in 2027 as well. What a difference, too. It's crazy to see that we basically met up in 2027 as the 2 best pitching staffs. 2028 is a fluke year of miracles where the A's and the Marlins met, and 2029 we meet up again as a duel between pitching staffs gets to culminate in a second World Series for the Brewers. And Yelich will also be able to call it a career from the top of the mountain. 2,333 hits, 341 home runs, for a career average of 279. Those injuries really held him back from being how great of a player he could have been, but still ends up with 60.8 WAR in his career. Ends with an MVP, 2 Hank Aaron's, a bunch of all-star appearances, 2 batting titles, a lot of silver sluggers, even had a gold glove in 2014, which is crazy to think as a guy who's never really been a great defensive player. And on top of that, 2 World Series trophies. And so now after this, Illinois is the last ranked team we have on our schedule. We have Northern Illinois and Minnesota left after Illinois. So if we can beat them, which is essential to our season, we might still be able to stay alive. If we cannot, I doubt we have any real chances for the rest of the 2029 season. We end up 7-3. We take down Illinois and might have a shot at making the college football playoff. Another decisive victory where our defense really showed out. So, okay. All right. I think we got it. It's just a question of whether or not we don't get unlucky. We're not going to be in the college football, or we're not going to be in the Big Ten playoffs or championship games. So it's more, do we get lucky against the rest of these teams? Can our running backs get healthy again? And
Can we make it to the college football playoffs? What seed are we going to have and who are we going to play? Or we will be in the Big Ten championship game. Okay, this is actually probably worse, because I don't know if we can afford this loss to USC. What a schedule of games we have up here. We just beat the Bears, but 7-1 Lions, then the Bills, who we were in the Super Bowl against last year, and then the Commanders, who are also a very good team. Let's see how it goes. Against Detroit to start it off. They're 7-1. This is for the division lead. We're going to hold on to that divisional lead. And then the Bills right after, 7-2. Can we beat them and hold on to a really good... No, we cannot. They light us up 41-28. But I guess the Commanders aren't good, so our defense is still not good. A couple weeks into the season, the Milwaukee Bucks are 20-6, leading the way in the East over the Miami Heat, who are right behind us in this race, and the Hawks, who are catching up and making a run. And on the Western side, I actually see the Spurs are in third. The Warriors are the number 1 seed right now, and the Kings are also good. I believe they went out and got, who did they get? I think they got Ace Bailey, because the Mavericks no longer have him, which means that the Mavericks won't be the team that we have to worry about outside of the Spurs. I mean, I'm not really worried. I'm really only worried about the Spurs, but still, in the West, that is still, I guess, a concern in general. I also know Luka left for the Bulls. I think he went to Denver, who are not that good to start. That's Luka and Jokic. And we have Giannis currently second in scoring, which is really good. His efficiency's down a little bit, but I think he's just shooting more shots, which is good because I want him to have a chance at an MVP. Well, Wisconsin's season's all down to this game against USC, who is number 3 ranked in the nation. I think if we lose, we're probably not making the college football playoffs at 9-4. Despite being ranked 5th right now and playing a top team, it's probably going to be one of those years like the other ones. Let's hope that we just beat USC. Please let us beat USC. We beat USC! Oh my god, thank you. Big Ten champions. Add a point to the board. It's like our first one in a while since our undefeated season. I guess I had no right to be scared. USC really has never been a threat to us. They always end up getting to the top ranks and then just not really challenging us at all. I mean, 1 touchdown for Love, but oh, the rushing. Our running backs are back, or at least Keel is. 3 touchdowns of the day, 2 for Love as well. Okay, that'll make a big difference, I think, on the season. And so your Heisman Trophy winner is Middle Tennessee's Tyrell Armour Jr., who threw 36 touchdowns and 3,800 yards. Did we get any awards? Oh, Best Interior Offensive Lineman George Agia. Right guard ends up only giving up 3? No sacks. I don't know what that means, essentially. And we had the best center, too, Wade Cons. I mean, I kind of knew we built a really good offensive line. That also means no tight end of the year, though, for Ralph Orlando. Oh, he was second. Second in the race. So close. Crazy to see these numbers being as low as they are, being at the end of the season, but hey, Case and Love, 32, 69, and 26 touchdowns this year to get him his final year with us. Actually put together a decent season. The rushing numbers are lower, but that's because we had to split it across a ton of running backs this season due to injury. I mean, look, even Alex Robinson got 4 touchdowns as a 74 overall freshman because we just had so many injuries at the running back position that, like, Cordova, who probably should have been the number 1 back, was hurt all year. Only played 7 games. Robinson only played 9 games. So, yeah, we dealt with injuries a lot, I think, this year. So the running game, not that efficient. On the passing game, 872 and 7 from Simonson as our top receiver. And 625 and 4 from Ralph Orlando, who does not get the best tight end. Blocking, I do want to look at this because, yep, that is 0 sacks for starting right guard and 0 sacks for starting center. George Agia and Wade Cons. That's a big difference, I think, is how good they ended up doing. Our tackle leader was George Yazzie, left outside linebacker with 63 tackles. Our sacks leader, Cade Walters, 7.5. Not really a great defensive year at all. I'm surprised. This is a pretty good looking defense. Or maybe we didn't need to convert turnovers. Lot of pass deflections. So maybe we did have a good secondary and they just didn't turn the ball over. We didn't need turnovers. So, okay.
That's it for us. Your leaders across the nation had Stephen Gammon lead the way for Boise State with 4,100 yards, 43 touchdowns to 8 picks. Touchdown leader was Deontay Brown with 49 touchdowns for Kansas State. Ends up leading the way there. I feel like we had him in the Stanford video. When it comes to the rushing leader, it's going to be Buffalo's Bob Turner, running back out of New Jersey. And your touchdown leader, Trey Dillard, out of East Carolina. So, obviously, I think we probably could have got into this race if we were healthy. Receiving leaders, you can see Edward Haddard led the way for Old Dominion with 1,299 yards and 12 touchdowns. Touchdown leader, Mitch Sharp from Stanford with 18 touchdowns. I'm actually curious if I go to receiving leaders and yards leaders, just see who the top tight end is. Oh. Okay, that guy wasn't in the 816. Oh, saw another one. There's the Kansas State guy, 747 and 8. So I can see why he got it. I mean, I guess a lot more touchdowns came out of the Kansas State offense than our offense. Defensively, tackles leader is apparently Lionel Sylvan. Sacks leader, yeah, that's not true. So let's just go look at the Big Ten and see how the Big Ten leaders were. Tackles leader in the Big Ten, Lorenzo Muma of Indiana. Sacks leader, Emeka Power of Nebraska. And interceptions leader, Emmanuel Kamara of USC. And so this is the college football playoff. We have a bye, and we'll be taking on the winner of South Carolina and TCU. USC did make it in. We also see Washington from the Big Ten as well. So if we win that, then we have to play TCU, or if we win that, we'll probably have to play Kansas State, who is 12-1, and have a battle of the top tight ends and apparently a phenomenal quarterback. Though I guess the Middle Tennessee quarterback's also good too, so maybe that guy will advance. We will be taking on the TCU Horned Frogs in the Fiesta Bowl. And at 15-2, the Green Bay Packers are also going to be a playoff team, making it with the bye as the 1 seed in the NFC again. And as the number 1 offense in the league, one of the best passing offenses, and the defense kind of middling, I guess. And that offense is led by quarterback Jordan Love, who for his second straight season throws for 5,000 yards, 48 touchdowns, and 7 picks on a 76% completion percentage. What a year from Jordan Love. Phenomenal season. Rushing, we did have 996 and 13 for Caleb Johnson. Braylon Allen took 5 touchdowns from him. Receiving leaders, we got 15, 55, and 18 from Matthew Golden, 11, 34, and 17 from Lane Hendricks, and 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns from Jaden Reed, on top of another 603 from Tucker Kraft. I don't think this is going to be enough for a league leader for Matthew Golden, but I still appreciate the effort from him. I think at one point in the season, Lane Hendricks took the slot receiver position, and that gave him a lot more receptions. When it comes to the defense, we end up having our tackle leader be Edgerrin Cooper, 119 tackles. This is a bad defense, so yeah, 6.5 sacks from Rashawn Gary and Justin Haynes, 3.5 from Lucas Van Ness. Terrible defense. Matt Bartow does lead in interceptions for us, though. 4, 3 for Cooper, 2 for Allen, 2 for McKinney, 2 for Bullard, and 1 from Peppers. Passing leader in the NFL is Jordan Love, 5,000 yards, leads the way over Patrick Mahomes' 4,795. Also, really good completion percentage from Mahomes, too. Touchdown leader, also Jordan Love, 48 touchdowns is more than Mahomes and Burrow. This is why I'm going to guess that we didn't get OPOY, because I'm going to see Burrow with 44 touchdowns. Or there's going to be some quarterback who ran for 20 in this season. But 2 league leaders from Jordan Love. When it comes to rushing, the rushing leader is Kenneth Walker, 14, 30, and 12 touchdowns. Could have went after him. I think also he will get more yardage just because of the scheme he's in than we will get. But still, we had a good year from Caleb Johnson. Touchdown leader rushing was Jahmyr Gibbs. Jalen Hurts had 16. See, that's why I didn't necessarily believe we'd be able to get it anyways. When it comes to receiving leaders, 1,700 yards for Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals leads the way. And also leads the way in touchdowns with 21. So yeah, Matthew Golden didn't get there, but what a great year from Jamar Chase. one reception short of a Triple Crown from him for receiving. Defensively, your tackle leader is Chris Paul Jr. of the Jets. I actually see Cooper down here in 5th because our defense is bad. Sacks leader on the season, Marco Allen of the Cardinals with 20 sacks at D tackle from Wisconsin. Leads the way. Hutchinson down to 18.5, which means he doesn't lead the way. Interception leader is a 4-way tie. Oh my God, we were like right here. This is a bad interception season. Sertan with 5, Charvarius Ward, that was a mouthful for me for some reason, Grant Delpit, and J.C. Horn all with 5. Man, one more pick from Bartow, and we have another league leader. And so we have the bye. It looks like the number 2 seed is the Arizona Cardinals this year. The Eagles are the 3. Lions are the 5, importantly. Lions are probably going to win that one. So I think, if anything, because I'd rather not see the Lions in the first round, there's a really good chance that's an NFC title game. We need to see the Seahawks or the 49ers get a nice upset victory for us so we don't have to play the Lions, because I feel like they're going to beat Tampa. On the other side, looks like the Browns have the lead, number 1 seed, and no other real surprises, essentially. So let's see what we get. Who are we going to be playing in the divisional round? We seem to have gotten some good luck. I think Seattle has Baker Mayfield, and so he beat Arizona, and that means that we have to play them instead of the Lions or the Eagles, who are going to match up and give us a extremely good opponent in the NFC Championship game if we can get past Baker Mayfield and the Seahawks. On the other side, it looks like the Chargers advanced and the Bills advanced to play the Chiefs. And so, as we start the college football playoff first, will the Wisconsin Badgers be able to advance to a semifinal and get over the TCU Horned Frogs? Let's see. I'm hopeful, but I don't know. That's a rough way to go out. We don't even make it to the semifinals. Wisconsin loses. No titles for the Badgers in the 5 years, despite competing all 5 years. And it was a close one too, 20-27. We end up losing this one. Just not any offense. Our defense finally didn't show up in this one. That was a middle linebacker I had for Stanford, and he is a quarterback for TCU. All right. We end up with 1 pick from Case and Love, not having a great game. Keel had a touchdown of 57 yards. I mean, we turned into a running team, and we just weren't able to get anything really on the ground. Receiving was terrible. Nobody could catch the ball besides our tight ends. And defensively, looks like we just got burned. I mean, we got a good amount of sacks, but nothing there. So we lose to TCU. Stanford rocks TCU in the national championship game, being 2029 national champions, dominating their way there. 5 years, we really only got close with Braden Locke, and the thing that stopped us at all times was just not having a serviceable quarterback. And when you don't have one, it's really, really hard to win. And so we weren't able to win. And I think the year that we really had a shot to win with a run game here against TCU, the running backs didn't show up. I mean, I guess they didn't show up, but Cordova was hurt, and he was the best running back. He got injured early in the year. And injuries ruin it. I mean, we fall behind by just dropping in seeding. I mean, if we had I can't even say that. Because if we had a higher seed, we're playing Stanford, and apparently Stanford was goated. So, yeah, we lose again. 5 years, no success with the Badgers, but I still think you would look at this program and say, you have really turned it into something, and the Badgers are now one of the best teams in the Big Ten consistently as a great offensive line and linebacker producing school. So it ends up, I think, being somewhat of a success in a program, but without any titles or trophies to show for it outside of Big Ten ones. And what a class that would be in the NFL draft. Cordova goes in the first round. Ralph Orlando goes in the first round. Wade Cons goes in the first round. He's a sophomore. So that's like a 21 because he's redshirted. A 21-year-old center drafted in the first round. Georgia Gia gets a first-round pick. Simonson's a second-round pick. Denson's a second-round pick. Stock's a second-round pick. Bibbs is a second-round pick. 2/3 in Velasco and Ackers.
We have a 4th in Ellington, a 5th in Keener. We have a 6th in Octavian and a 7th in Knox. But the most important thing that you see on here, Case and Love did not get drafted. We never figured out the quarterback. And so now we're down to the Packers for football in Wisconsin. Can they, in their journey for 4 in a row, advance to another NFC title game to play the winner of the Lions and the Eagles? Let's see what we do against Seattle. Can we get the victory? We do. We win 28-20. We will be taking on the Detroit Lions. Baker threw a pick. Jordan Love didn't. That's the difference. And that's all you really need when you have the offense that we have. So let's see what we can do against Detroit. For another appearance in the NFC title game, we're taking on the Detroit Lions with Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff, and on defense, Aiden Hutchinson. Can we make it 4 straight Super Bowls? That is going to depend on how we do against Detroit here in Lambeau. Last year we played in a snow game. This year it's just cold. It's not snowy. You can see the heat coming off of the breath of our players coming out onto the field. And maybe we can take advantage of Detroit being used to playing inside. And we'll see what we have in the NFC title game here in 2030, technically. It is Detroit that stands in our way of going to a 4th straight Super Bowl, in which we could have a rematch against the Buffalo Bills, who are in the AFC title game. Even more interestingly, Cleveland Browns are also in the AFC title game, so it is going to be either Cleveland or Buffalo coming in to play the winner of the Lions and Green Bay. The North dominates sports. Caleb Johnson for 26 yards gets us down to the 20. We are marching another 12 for Johnson down to the 8. 4 for Johnson, and a pass to Lane Hendricks for a touchdown. We take the lead early, 7-0 lead for us against Detroit. The big thing I think we have to do is we have to make sure to nullify Aiden Hutchinson, who is really their big threat when it comes to them defensively. Interception by Xavier McKinney is going to give us the ball back on the 47. Because offensively, we know that they're going to throw the ball a lot to Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown has led the league in receiving a lot. But if I guess we got some stops on Goff there. Oh, an interception by Brian Branch. That turns that table from getting into the end zone there. We could have went up 2 scores after a couple big passes, but Jordan Love throws a pick, which is actually kind of rare for him this season, to the Detroit Lions. So they're going to march down the field, or are they? Yep, they're going to get those little inches that they need in order to get it as they end the first down 7. 4-yard catch to Gibbs, a 3rd and 1, and a negative yard rush. It's going to force the first punt of the game to us. So the other thing I think that's been great is that getting Caleb Johnson in is actually a pretty good replacement for Josh Jacobs as we get to punt the ball right back to them. Down to the 3, though, so if we could get a tackle or a sack. Nope. Back down to the 3 after 3rd and 11. Penalty against the offense, 3rd and 12 on the 1. Okay, they do get out of safety range, but they will have to punt the ball back to us. But I think Caleb Johnson has been a great replacement for Josh Jacobs, and I'm very satisfied with him as a running back. I know he only got 1 year with us, and he gets a touchdown in the NFC title game to go up 14-0. I'm kind of yapping because honestly, we've been here before. We've seen this. It's a question of how the end of this game goes, because up 14-0 against Detroit, they should be able to start doing exactly this. Yes, big plays. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs. Apparently they run the ball with a fullback. But this team should still be able to march, and our defense is not good. Penalty against the offense makes it 2nd and 15. 4-yard rush by their fullback. And an incomplete means they're going to have to take the field goal. So, blocked. Field goal is blocked. They are not going to score. It is not going to be 14-3. This might be 21-0 if we can go down and score. 2 minutes left in the first half for us as we're marching down this field. Big pass to Matthew Golden. Our offense is so good right now. It is crazy to think that we essentially won the first by having a dominant defense, and now we are just in a position where our offense is unstoppable.
It's like the Pittsburgh Steelers for a while in the 2010s. Sadly, they never got their title with the Killer Bees. We don't call our timeouts, so we do not get another score there at the end of the half. But 21-0. I think if we get a stop and we make this a 4-score game, I don't think we have to watch the rest of it. But I don't know. They could still march down and make this back to a 2-score game. Detroit's not out of it. They also have a potent offense. They're also a very good team. It's just we have an extremely potent offense. But they find Amon-Ra St. Brown. But essentially, like, I'm thinking of this team developing kind of how that Steelers team did, where when they won the Super Bowl, they were built off of an insanely good defense. And then over that time, they then developed around Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown. And see, Detroit's not out of it. Interception by Tyrone Newkirk puts them right back in this. And built a really, really powerful offense until Big Ben finally ran out of gas because they couldn't get over the top. But now we see them back with a great defense. I think there's teams that basically do this in cycles. Even the Chiefs have done it. When they started with Mahomes, or when they had Alex Smith before that, they were really a great defensive team in the 2010s before they got him. 10-yard touchdown to Amon-Ra St. Brown gets them a score. They are down 1 score. And then Mahomes built a powerful offense around Kelsey and Tyreek Hill. And then now that those guys are gone, they're back to being a powerful defense again. It's actually how you build a good roster, is you keep rotating where your skill comes from. Is it the offense that dominates? Is it the defense that dominates? Okay, the offense has really stalled out for us as we go to the 4th, and we are now only up 1 score, and they are marching. So, when you end up building like that, I mean, as long as you have the core pillars of a quarterback, I think that's what really makes you a long-term contender. And that's what we've done here by building a powerful offense after the defense was really good in the beginning. 4th and 1 on the 30. Are they going to take the field goal? Are they going to go for it on the play? They take the 7-yard rush. 1st and 10 to the 22. All right, I'm going to stop yapping as this game has now gotten close. 3-yard rush by Travis Jenkins brings him down to the 11. Another 4 brings him to the 8. 2 brings it to the 6. And a touchdown run by Jared Goff to tie the game 21-21. We have now blown a 21-0 lead here in the NFC title game. Penalty against Rasheed Walker. Not a great start, guys. This 4th quarter has been brutal. 3rd and 20 after a drop by Lane Hendricks and another pass thrown away. We had to punt the ball right back to Detroit, who is going to be able to start moving. We cannot stop them. Our defense does not exist right now. Incomplete. 3rd and 6. Pivotal play. They get the 8-yard catch to St. Brown. They get another 2nd and 4 with 2:46. 2:03 after the pass to Isaac Tesla. 1st and 10 as they are now running the clock out. 4-yard rush. They are on 1st and goal on the 5. Touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs. We have blown a 21-0 lead. And we are going to have to go and I think watch. We'll jump the next play first. On the kickoff. But let's go watch the rest of this game. Oh, I have to switch to slow. And see if Jordan Love can make a miracle happen. And we can beat the Lions. 31 seconds left. We are on the 42. No timeouts for Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. Drops back, feels the pressure. Gets sacked and fumbles. We fall apart in the NFC title game, blow a 21-0 lead, and Detroit is going to win the NFC Championship game. Whoa. I felt so confident. I even mentioned that we might jump ahead if we went up another score, but I said Detroit was still in it, and wow, were they still in it. Detroit is going to be going to the Super Bowl in a comeback situation behind Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, and we fumble and fall apart in the NFC Championship game. We still end up with 3 in a row, so we cannot complain necessarily, but wow, what a collapse to make it not be able to be 4 in a row. we fall apart, and it's sad to see that we weren't able to make it 4 in a row. But I think people and fans of the NFL would be super happy to see this, as Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns beat the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl in 2029. What a unique, I think, first time either of them have made it to the Super Bowl, and they both have an opportunity, and the Browns win 20-17. We did this year get an MVP from Jordan Love, putting something in his trophy case besides rings. I think he's satisfied with the rings. Probably would trade that MVP for a ring any day for himself. LaFleur, Coach of the Year. Jamar Chase, Offensive Player of the Year. Marco Allen, Defensive Player of the Year. We also got Rookie of the Year in Lane Hendricks of the Packers, our wide receiver. And our Defensive Rookie of the Year is Chargers outside linebacker Jamar Adams. And so we were unable to go out on top this year in the last season with the Packers, but what we built is phenomenal. Jordan Love, 99 overall. Matthew Golden, 99 overall. We have a Rookie of the Year wide receiver. The running back who ends up being pretty good. He's a free agent, so he won't be able to stay. A fantastic offensive line. Defensively, we didn't do as good of a job, I think, building this team. We kept a lot of guys. Edge Cooper was really good. The cornerback room, I like Matt Bartow. I think he was a really good pick for us. And our safety room was pretty good, too. But over the case of this, we ended up getting a MVP. We had an Offensive Rookie of the Year. Actually, we had 2. Golden and Hendricks ended up both getting Offensive Rookie of the Years. And we got 3 rings. So Green Bay is back on top of the NFL world at the end of our 5 years. And we have one more team left to see if we can add one last trophy to the case in Wisconsin in this 5-year rebuild. After the Super Bowl, it's important to take a look at the Bucs and see where they're at. They are 44-13, leading the East right now, but only 1 game ahead of Detroit, who have a phenomenal roster. When it comes to the entire NBA, the Spurs are also 43-13, meaning that we are still in a spot where they are going to be a main threat to us in the West. Wembanyama is still a major threat. We can hope that somebody else can take them down, but man, they're the Spurs. You really can never underestimate what this team can do, and your real only hope is that they can have some major injuries. Which, I mean, injuries have happened this entire rebuild. We had Giannis gone for a season. We've had, obviously Dame in the beginning. Tatum was gone, and then I've seen plenty of injuries throughout the rest of it. So, all right, let's see how we can finish this season off. Giannis gets another MVP, 28.2, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.7 steals, and 1.8 blocks. For the Greek Freak, who I don't know if we can call him a freak anymore. I think he's established what he is. He's now the Greek God. MVP. The Rookie of the Year goes to Stan Daniels, who averages 6 points a game for the Lakers. The Sixth Man of the Year, Colin Murray-Broyles of the Miami Heat. Defensive Player of the Year is Dyson Daniels of the Atlanta Hawks. No Wembanyama. All right. When it comes to the most improved, Mlbtheshow wins it of the Bulls. Darren Peterson of the Lakers wins Clutch Player of the Year. Coach of the Year, Stauffer. And Executive of the Year, 60-22, the Spurs. When we look at All-NBA First Team, Giannis, Jokic, Gabanza, Flag, and Young. No Wembanyama on the first team. The second team. Jokic Jonas, second team with Morant, Peterson, Luka, and Wembanyama. I mean, what did he do? Oh, his numbers are way down. Way down. He just must have played less minutes this season. But also... yeah, he did play less minutes. Okay, so he played less minutes. But also, I think they have a lot of big scorers on that team. Third team is Harper, Edgecombe, Traore, Evan Mobley, and Cunningham. Nobody else for us. We did have Giannis on the first team. Wembanyama is also on the first team, as well as Cooper Flag of the Spurs. Nobody else for us. We have a lot of defensive guys, but they don't rack up steals. So we have our MVP At age 35, the Spurs are the 1 seed in the West, and we are the 1 seed in the East. On our season, we also had a good year out of Jakob Jonas, who averaged 24 this season and 8 assists. He didn't average the near 10 that he did last year, but I think we have a couple more guys who ball handle and pass, and that'll help. Steals leader was Giannis. Taking a look at the rest of our team, though, Johnson had 11, Burris had 11, Hunter had only like 9, which is a big decrease from last year, but he lost a significant part of his role this year. I think moved to the bench a lot more, and so didn't get as many opportunities. Johnson and Burris don't shoot as much as the other guys. Dort at 8, because Dort came in, I think, was another big thing. Yeah, across the board, just a pretty decent season. We didn't have anybody else really substantial. Our field goal percentage, Giannis, 56%. He's a little old at this point. 3-point percentage leader is Jakob Jonas with 42, and the free throw percentage is Jakob Jonas with 96. Let's see if we have any league leaders. Giannis also comes away with a scoring title, 28.2, just beating out Darren Peterson. I do think there is a qualified problem because I looked, less than, so I'm guessing he got hurt. I wanted to say I had looked before, earlier in the season, and Zachary Ricochet was averaging like 30, but he got hurt. So he would have had the scoring title had he stayed healthy. Jaden Quaintance leads in rebounds with 13.2. Assist leader, Nolan Traore with 11.2 for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Steals leader, Dyson Daniels with 2.5 steals on the season. Blocks leader, Jaden Quaintance with 2.4 for the Hornets. Field goal percentage leader, Zion Williamson with 62%. Actually, the whole league is kind of down because Giannis is still in third on that. 3-point percentage leader is Jalen Clark, shooting 47%. Yeah, there you go. There's Ricochet, who didn't qualify. He was averaging 27.8. But what a great year. Sad that he got hurt on that one. 3-point percentage was Jalen Clark of the Hornets, and free throw percentage, Walter Clayton just beating out Jakob Jonas. So close. That's like one free throw. And so we will be taking on the Orlando Magic in our first game here. They have Suggs, Bane, Wagner, Boncaro, and Jeremy Sohan. Very small team, I guess, facing up against us here in this one. Game 1 against the Orlando Magic, we win 130-112. Game 2, we win 132-125. 3, 98-90. And can we get the sweep? We can. We sweep the Orlando Magic. So we'll be taking on the Charlotte Hornets in the next round. They should have an interesting team. We haven't seen them yet. LaMelo Ball, Dylan Harper, Jalen Clark, Taylor Hendricks, and Jaden Quaintance. Okay. Not as good as I would have thought them to be. Okay, let's see what we can do against them. Game 1 against the Hornets. Okay, I shouldn't have underestimated them. 141. Dylan Harper at 26. Giannis at 32. But looks like Burry's fouled out. All right. Okay, don't fall behind, guys. Game 2. All right, we've fallen behind. They have just... All right. Nope. Don't lose to the Hornets, please. Let's go change our game plan. Shrink our rotation. Yeah, we're using 10 guys right now. Let's switch down to 8. All right. Game 3. All right, we win that one 115-95. Game 4. We win that one 114-98. San Antonio and the Clippers have advanced. Game 5. All right, we have come back, just had to shorten that rotation. And game 6, we do win that one in 6 games. DeAndre Hunter is hurt, sadly. Jakob Jonas put up 41. We're taking on Detroit again. This team ends up being really good too. We'll have the CPU adjust that. Cade Cunningham, Adama Ball, AJ Dabansa, Asar Thompson, and Nicholas Claxton. So once again, they're a little small, but I think that we could beat this team. Game 1 against the Detroit Pistons. They take game 1 off of us. I think they did this last year too. Dabansa had 28, Cunningham had 25. Game 2. We win that one 111-109, a close one. Game 3. Jalen Johnson is hurt. Never mind. No, he's not. We win that one 98-90. The Spurs are up 2-0 on the Clippers. Game 4. Okay, we will not be going into the finals with our point guard if we can beat the Pistons. 135-106. Cunningham had 55, I guess, being guarded by Kolek. All right. What does our lineup even look like without Yaka Jonas? Kolek? I got a different plan. Kolek, and then we'll go Dort is going to go less minutes. We're going big. We're going defense. This is what I trust. We don't have Hunter. We don't have Yaka Jonas. All right, let's see what we can do. Game 5. We win that one 131 to 121. Giannis at 34, Naz Reid at 24. The Spurs have swept their way in. They have beat the Clippers. Game 6. Naz Reid has strained his right hip, or left hip. He is hurt. We are in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. We are significantly injured. Giannis is the only offensive option that we have. All right. Simulate with Simcast. Let's see what we can do in this one. Can we take down the Pistons despite having very little offense to roll with? We win the first quarter. They're going to take the second. They take the lead. They're up in the third. They are up in the fourth. We are eliminated. Injuries stop everything. Wow. The Spurs win the championship. Yaka Jonas going down ends everything for us as Wembanyama gets Finals MVP. We do not get another title for Giannis. He only ends with 2. He does not get his 3rd title, sadly, here in 2029. And the Spurs win again. Wow. The injuries piled up just at the wrong time. Giannis did what he could, 30 and 11, 53%, 60% from the free throw range. I mean, it wasn't necessarily great, but just wasn't able to do it. I mean, we end up losing in this one. It's hard to win when you don't have your guys. He is going to end his career really well, though. I mean, despite not necessarily having this team is still good. It's still young. They still have potential. I don't think he's going to be in a race for any more MVPs. Jokic had the league lead there. But 2-time champion, 5-time MVP right now, 2 finals MVPs, 13-time All-Star, bunch of All-NBAs, and a DPOY. I mean, all time, you're talking about a guy who's probably Hakeem caliber, if not above that. And I'm not to be a person who likes to do the all-time rankings and everything, but I do enjoy them a little bit. If this is the career of the guy that you have, Giannis, and the production that he's had so far, I wonder if I can go look at just like his career totals. And we can just go look at points. I mean, he's 35, so he's still got a couple more years left, I think. He's at 32,000 points. He'll probably get over 40K by the end of that. 12,000 rebounds, 6,000. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's essentially, he's probably not going to win another MVP because Wembanyama will probably win the rest of them forever. But 5-time MVP, maybe he can win another title. Maybe he can win 2 more titles in the future. That top 5 all time? Top 6? Top 7? I kind of compared him to Hakeem, but he's probably better than Hakeem. And Hakeem, I think, is a top 10 player all time. So wherever you have Hakeem, put Giannis one step above it, because that's pretty much where we had to put Giannis in this case. And he finishes off a good career, but just isn't going to get another title, and that 3rd title would have been huge. Anyways, that's it for our Wisconsin rebuild in the greatest cities of sports. And I think the one thing that we have to talk about with the reason why the Giannis thing losing at the end is so disappointing is that the Bucks are going to come up and Wisconsin is going to come up probably just short of San Francisco. That 2nd title this year by Giannis would have been enough to get it. I mean, Jordan Love getting that title would have been enough too. But can't pass them. I mean, I guess Wisconsin really getting the title would have made everything, but can't pass them, I don't believe. I haven't counted the points up at this moment when I'm doing this recording, but I wanted to see just a little bit more. I really wanted to treat you and do something great for you, Giannis. I tried, but you can fire me now. I didn't build you as good of a team as the Spurs for Wembanyama. Anyways, that's the end of our Wisconsin rebuild for the greatest cities of sports. Thank you very much for enjoying and watching along. We'll see you next time with some more. We have some more cities to go. Soon we'll be seeing some cities, and hopefully the Mavericks can stop screwing us by giving them Cooper Flag.